Redditors with toddlers, what's the most recent illogical breakdown they've had? Not really a toddler at the time, but my kid had a full-blown tantrum, cried for like 3 hours and was banging on stuff, because it wasn't the weekend yet. And then when I told her that the weekend started the next day, she cried because she didn't want it to be the weekend yet. This morning, because I will not agree to paint our house purple. Last week, because she has a middle name. My 2-year-old son got very upset the other day because we wouldn't let him drive the car 200 miles home from holiday. She got put in timeout for hitting her baby sister. She did perfectly fine through the whole time, but when I told her she was all done, she collapsed on the ground crying. Why? I want more timeout. My daughter went to the bathroom to pee and came out 30 seconds or so later crying. Why? She had been bored sitting on the toilet waiting for all the pee to come out, and it occurred to her that she had a whole life of being bored sitting on the toilet for 30-second increments while waiting for all the pee to come out. Said he didn't have legs and that his actual legs were his back legs and he had no front legs, so he couldn't walk down the stairs. Almost fainted laughing. He couldn't believe that Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph was ignoring him when he was trying to talk to Ralph through the TV. We refer to my son's naps as rests, but sometimes we'll slip and call it a nap. On Easter, he got some bubbles as a gift and was saying how excited he was to play with them after his rest. He asked me if I wanted to play with them too, and I said yep, after your nap, and he lost his sit crying and screaming about how he wanted to do it after his rest, not his nap, for an hour because I said nap instead of rest. My son loves dinosaurs, talks about them all the time, watches nothing but dinosaur stuff on YouTube. Put a toy dinosaur in front of him, but when he freaks the FK out. He's a little over 2, and so I figured it was safe to show him my amiibo collection. He was amazed by Mario, Luigi, Peach, Pikachu, Donkey Kong. We get to Yoshi and he becomes terrified, starts crying, tries to run away from Yoshi. Well, my little brother had a full-on breakdown because he wanted to swing. We had a swing. It was in front of him. He wanted for it to swing only in one direction, as in only to be on one side of the swing when swinging, not going backwards. I had to explain to him it isn't possible, we can't do that. With my son, everything is no. Want to go to bed? No. Want to eat a snack? No. Want to play with your trucks? No. So, bit of a fight to get him to do anything without intervention. It got to be so bad he'd say no to his own suggestion. Play trucks. Okay, let's play trucks. No, but you said play trucks. Yeah, okay, let's play. No, buddy, it was your idea. No. On and on it went for an hour. Found my wife in the kitchen absolutely dying trying to keep it together. My kid had a crying fit because I pulled the dog food out of his mouth and told him he couldn't eat it. One of my friend's kids had a full-on meltdown because she hadn't eaten her ice cream yet. Not that she couldn't eat it, she could. It was right in front of her. It was her dessert, but the fact that she had to go through the process of eating the ice cream in order to get the end point of having eaten the ice cream, and being happy, seemed intolerable to her. Watching little humans come to grips with cause and effect is mind-blowing. My niece is like 2 years old and I picked up in her little rocking horse thing and flew her around the room last weekend. She definitely enjoyed because she kept looking at me and yelling up. I made that horse fly around until my arms couldn't handle it anymore. Apparently she has been yelling up at all adults since I left and then crying screaming when she doesn't get flown around. Sorry. He threw a toy car in my general direction and I took the car away and told him sternly that we don't throw our toys at people. He got upset and cried, as toddlers do. But he's a cuddly one, and when he's upset, he likes to be held. But I was the one who made him upset, so he didn't want me. But he was upset and he wanted to be held, but didn't want to be held by me because I made him upset. But he was upset. I pulled her chair out to enable her to get up to the table too far. Then she pulled off her own socks during her tantrum. Tantrum 2 ensues, because my socks. My niece, known for being a perfect child, no disobedience, no temper tantrums, no crying fits of any sort, was having what could only be described as a perfect potty training experience. No accidents at all. It's all fitting as she is the daughter of my perfect sister. While helping my parents watch her one weekend, I heard this horrible shrieking from the bathroom. like a banshee's wail. I run to the other end of the house to find her on the toilet, crying giant tears and in a full panic. "What's wrong, sweetie?" "I have to pee." "Well, go ahead. You're on the potty." "I can't." She's turning redder every second and she's gritting her teeth. "You can't." "Does it hurt?" "No, I need to pee but the poopy wants to come out first." She was having a meltdown because she needed to poop but wanted to only pee, then poop separately. Our mower was serviced. The guy came and picked up the mower and was to drop it off afterwards. My son cried for 30 minutes solid, then off and on every 5 to 15 minutes until he dropped it back off. I tried explaining that he was only fixing the mower and would bring it right back to him. My sobbing almost 3-year-old would reply, while wiping his tears, "Okay, I'm okay. It's okay." Wash, rinse, repeat for 2 hours. Holy shit. Totally forgot about this and came back to an inbox full into gold. Thank you guys for taking joy in my son's heartbreak. Lol. And thank you kind stranger for the gold. I've never had one before. My toddler dropped her fry on the floor, so I picked it up and threw it away and went to hand her the container to get another out. Cue the screams. She runs over to the trash because it didn't matter that there was a whole container full of fries. She wanted that fry that had fallen on the floor. I remember when my little sister was a toddler, she would throw the biggest tantrum if we didn't get her pepperoni pizza. She always took them off the pizza and put them aside. But if you dared order a cheese pizza, she would lose her damn mind. We raised chickens in our backyard. My son loves going outside to feed and watch them. The other day he threw himself on the ground and cried for almost 30 minutes because I wouldn't let him ride a chicken. He only knew he could ride them because he's attempted and been successful before. My 2-year-old son has been eating only his pink-colored Play-Doh. He doesn't put any other foreign objects in his mouth. I had to hide from a set every shade of red because he learned mixing white will make pink. It's been a full blowout every morning with him asking for red Play-Doh. He's going to figure out that he can color white with red magic markers. Because Dora the Explorer says Cinco with an S sound and my Spanish friend told her that in Spain it's Cinco with a TH. Given the onslaught of screaming, rolling around the floor and repeatedly shouting "No, it's Cinco," I presume that Dora's word is law and cultural differences mean sit all in her little 3-year-old world. My sister's toddler had a full-on meltdown because his pasta was taking too long to cook. When it was done he didn't want it. Also, he took a dump under their bed that day, crying because her sister stole her air. Friends of mine have 2 toddlers, boy and a slightly younger girl. While on a car ride, the boy pretended he had a lollipop. Yes, an imaginary lollipop, and refused to share it with his sister. It escalated to the point that the girl was bawling her eyes out, screaming for him to share this non-existent lollipop, and the mother screaming at the son to share the damn lollipop. Bath time every day. 5 minutes of fighting to not take a bath. Once in the bath they don't want to get out. This afternoon my kid had a huge strop because we didn't take him to America last Friday. He wanted to go to his America house. We obviously don't have a house in the USA, and we certainly can't time travel to last Friday and fly off to America randomly. She's a bit young for words, so I'm going off wriggles and tears, but she wanted to be put down. But when I put her down she cried and asked to be picked up, but when picked up would try to wriggle free of my grasp. Repeated this a few times until I realized I couldn't win. 2-year-old walks into my office. "Mommy, I'm hungry." "Okay buddy, what would you like to eat?" Child throws himself on the floor and is immediately in full lizard brain meltdown mode. "I don't wanna eat anything." I don't have a toddler of my own, but I am a preschool teacher and I had a kid have a breakdown because they didn't want to use toilet paper. I gave them the next thing we had, baby wipes. Another breakdown began because they didn't want baby wipes since they are for babies. He ended up throwing sit and chairs. My daughter cried because she couldn't wear her red shoes. My wife gave in and put them on her. My daughter then threw an absolute fit because she was wearing red shoes. I slowly walked up the stairs with my son trailing behind me. I heard him wailing when I reached the top. Turn around and see him full-blown sobbing, face down on the stairs. Unbeknownst to me, we had been racing and I won. My 2-year-old wanted chocolate. I gave her some of white chocolate Easter egg. Meltdown because A, it wasn't brown chocolate, and B, because she actually wanted mommy to give her the chocolate. Today before school, my daughter took her folder out of her book bag while we were waiting for her bus. I told her to put it back before her bus came but she refused. so I put it back in her book bag just as her bus pulled up. Her tantrum was over 9,000. I had to carry her to her bus as she screamed through her tears, kicking my chest and trying to grab the doors as I carried her. I hate you. I want a new family. I hate you. I hate you. I thought it was pretty funny. Not my child, but it's my niece. She said she wanted milk, so I made her a cup of it. Came back. She said she didn't want it. Threw a fit because she didn't want the milk. I told her she's the one who asked for it. She literally stopped crying and took the milk and went back to watching her iPad. Another one would be that I gave her milk but the cup was freshly washed. Didn't think a few drips of water on the side was going to cause trouble. Nope. She screamed and cried because she got a drop of water on her hand and didn't want to wipe it on her shirt.